Hi there, welcome to the Chirp YouTube channel. I am Christy, your friendly online speech language pathologist and specialist in children's communication development, including behavior, because behavior is a type of communication. Today is the next video in our pyramid model series. As you know, we've been discussing the pyramid model for quite some time now. You can find the playlist right here with all of the videos from this series. And I want you to know that the reason we're discussing the pyramid model for a long time on this channel is because it's such a helpful framework for understanding how to prevent challenging behavior. We cannot prevent challenging behavior by disciplining a child. We cannot prevent challenging behavior by yelling or by removing privileges or that kind of thing. We can prevent challenging behavior by doing all the things we're talking about in this series. The reason it's a pyramid is because it starts out with universally helpful strategies. If we put these strategies into place, everyone benefits, all the children, even those who do not have any specific challenges. Then we move up to things that are helpful to all children, but necessary for some children who do have unique challenges. And then at the very tippy top, we move up to those particular strategies that are geared for that particular child. And we have not gotten there yet. Right now, we are talking about targeted social emotional supports. Targeted meaning we're looking for areas of weakness. We're looking for areas where there are common breakdowns, and then we're going to swoop in and teach replacement skills in those areas. So I mentioned last week how to find out where these missing skills are. And today I'm going to talk about how to explicitly teach some of these skills, particularly in these 4 areas I talked about last time, which are crying, hitting, running away, or making fun of other people. Now, I am going to go through some resources with you today that I have found especially helpful in my 20 plus years of doing this job, working with children. All of them have behavior challenges. There isn't a child with a developmental delay or diagnosis who doesn't have behavior challenges, because when we're frustrated and we can't express it, when we are feeling like a loser, we're going to display some behaviors that maybe other people don't understand. So let us talk about how to teach particular skills. The first book we're going to talk about is How Are You Peeling? It's so cute. It's fruits and vegetables, and they are displaying different emotions. Now, I would not necessarily just read through this book and expect children to understand the emotions portrayed by the vegetables and fruits. Instead, I would probably choose to purchase a emotions card set, such as this one, and try to match the feelings from the card set to the feelings that these particular fruits and vegetables might be having. Don't worry, I'm putting links to all the stuff in the box below this video. So if you are on your phone, you can click on More, and then the box should expand and show you a wonderful plethora of supports and recommendations and resources that you can explore at your leisure. This book is so adorable and engaging for kids that it kind of gets those social skills in there, maybe even without them noticing. Now, let us talk about the 4 different behaviors that we're talking about. The first one is crying. And this one is because that's the behavior that I used to display. Now, I am looking through this book to try to find something that will explain a little bit of how I might have been feeling, or how I was feeling when I was sad in school. I think the closest one for me is probably this one. This little orange who looks so sad. My feeling was that I didn't know enough and I didn't know how to ask for help. We've talked about this. I had lots of social skills deficits. And one of them was that I didn't know how to ask for help. So I might show this picture and I might say, this is me. This is Christy. When Christy was in school and Christy did not know how to ask for help and a question was too hard on her homework and she did not know what to do. What could Christy have done instead of feeling like this all alone? And then we can talk through some potential solutions to that problem. We can say Christy could have raised her hand and asked the teacher for a little extra help. Christy could have asked a friend, could you explain how you answered this question? Christy could have taken a moment, closed her eyes, counted to 10, taken some deep breaths, and then tried again. Because sometimes if we take a little break, we can answer the question next time. These are some examples. Now, this is just the crying one. Let's see if we can find one that might explain the feeling that someone has before they hit. Because hit is our next one. Let's see if I can find a picture of somebody who might hit. I think I found it. Look at that. He's feeling really angry. I'm not sure why. Is he feeling angry because this pepper is laughing at him? That could be. So what I'm going to do now in this case is I'm going to say, what can we do? What could this orange do? If he feels angry like this, we know hitting isn't the best option. What are some other options that this orange could try instead? And this is a place when we're explicitly teaching these skills, we can be very creative with how we brainstorm. So for example, we can just talk about the options. We can draw the options. We can act out the options. We can act out the options and then take pictures of them with the real camera or with a phone camera. We can do all sorts of things. We can act them out between toys. These are different ways of implanting these different strategies that are better than the previous strategies. We talk about them. We teach. This guy is feeling angry. Maybe he's frustrated. Maybe he's a little embarrassed because this pepper is laughing at him. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm going to assume that it is in this case, especially if I have a student who gets very worked up if he thinks other people are laughing at him. So I have explicitly taught what this feeling is, and now I'm teaching better ways to handle that emotion rather than hitting someone. Okay, next, running away. Well, we can use the same picture if we want, or we can find a different one. Let's see. Why might I feel like running away? Oh, I found a good one. Look at that. A grown-up is yelling at me. I do not like that. That has happened to me in my lifetime. I bet that's happened to you as well. Doesn't have to be a grown-up, just someone who has power over you, or someone who's bigger or more bossy. And this little apple doesn't look real worried at this time, but maybe this little apple has shut right down and is in freeze mode. And that little apple would really love to run away. So let's talk about some options. If someone's yelling at me and I feel like I need to run away, what are some other things I could do instead where I could still be safe? Because running away is not safe. I could get in real danger if I run away. We can talk about some of the things that can happen if we run away. I could accidentally run into the street and then a car might come and hurt me. I could get lost and not be able to get home or back to school again. The police might have to come look for me because I might get lost. Or somebody who's not a good person could come along and take me, and then I wouldn't be able to go home again. So we can talk about the bad things that could happen if we run away. We can also talk about and we should also talk about different ways that we can handle those feelings that come up when someone is yelling at us, or maybe when someone is making fun of us. When we feel like we need to escape. The last one, how can we use this book when we want to work on what to do instead of making fun of someone else? This one is a little trickier because, as I mentioned in the last video, it's a very high level skill to realize that someone else has emotions and that we need to be careful with other people's emotions because they matter just as much as our own emotions matter. So, one way that we can do this is that we can talk about the emotions that we see in the book and how they feel and how it would feel to be this lemon when all these other lemons are friends and this lemon is not included in that circle of friends. How do you think it would feel? Being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and realize that does not feel good. If I were this lemon, I would feel rejected and very sad. And it's possible that if these lemons do not understand that, they might make fun of this lemon because they don't understand how it feels. And making fun of people is not a kind thing to do. It hurts someone's feelings and makes them feel bad. What could we do instead of making fun of this lemon? We could invite her to join our circle. We could get to know this lemon, invite her to eat lunch with us. We could do all sorts of things that are way better, that get us the attention that we want without making fun of anybody. What is another thing that we could do? Let's see if I can find another picture. This one might work. There's a great big onion and a little tiny onion, and the little tiny onion looks really sad. And the big onion is trying to comfort the little onion. This is a good example of something that would be very kind and appropriate to do. Let's say someone in our classroom cries a lot. That was me. But instead of making fun of the little Christy onion for crying all the time, we could try to comfort that little onion and say, it's going to be okay. You'll understand this math problem in a little while. We just have to take a break and calm down and then come back and try again. And you can always ask for help. So instead of making fun of someone who's different or who's having a little trouble or who has a different thing that they're working on than I'm working on, I can be someone who provides comfort. I can be kind. Now, I have just worked on all 4 of these challenging behaviors with just one very short book. And of course, there should be more activities, as I just mentioned, than just reading the book and looking at the pictures. We should be doing art related to these different challenging issues. We should be acting things out. We should be playing things out with toys. And I have a whole video coming on how to work on each of these individual issues in play, because it's very important to teach everything in play, as well as to teach them explicitly. We want to teach them explicitly first, in most cases, because otherwise kids don't have the words and they don't have the structure in their minds to be able to put the play skills they're learning somewhere. But if we teach these explicit skills first, here are things I could do instead, and we play them out, we draw them out, then when we can create situations in play where we bring up a situation, such as one where the child might normally want to hit someone or run away, and then we can say, wait, what are those strategies we talked about? Very smart. The next book we're going to talk about is also, all these are for explicit teaching. This one is called My Book Full of Feelings. And this one talks through feelings. It has a whole bunch of instructions at the beginning that kind of give you some ideas how to use them, which is great because I believe it's written by a social worker. I was thinking maybe it was written by a speech pathologist, but it's not. There probably would be more pictures if it were. But first, it talks about sad, and there's a little flip for each of the emotions. Again, I would use more visuals. So I would link sad to a picture from this book or to one of these visuals from this emotions card deck or something similar. You can take pictures of your own self. Or your child's face, having different emotions, and talk about those. It doesn't have to be something that you purchase. This one talks about why I might feel sad. I might feel a little bit sad if I can't find my toy. I might feel medium sad if my mom's not home and I want her to help me. I might feel big sad if I scrape my knee or get hurt. And then on the other side, it has examples of what you can do if you have those feelings of sadness. And I think that that is very, very helpful. And of course, there are little worksheets that you can rip out or copy. I believe you can copy it. And you can use them to help your child process through some of those emotions and make plans for what they do with certain feelings, which I think is super great. This obviously is for kids who are capable of a little more language and who have a little more cognitive ability, but still a great resource. I approve of When My Worries Get Too Big. This one's super cute. It starts out with the idea that there are some things I'm really good at, and there are some things, and then it has a little place for you to draw pictures. I would make copies and not draw pictures right in the book because you want to be able to read this through multiple times and have a different response every time. But then you can take that picture in or whatever. I like to think about my favorite things. I like to know what's happening. This is when I'm at a 1 or a 2. So this is introducing the idea that I can be calm and regulated, which is a 1 or a 2. I could be starting to get a little worked up, which is a 3. I could be really worked up, which is a 4. Sometimes a 4 makes my stomach hurt. Or I could be out of control. Red alert, that is a 5. Look at this cute picture. Red alert. I think it's adorable. And then the kid can draw a picture of what happens to them at red alert. So we're talking through what happens. And then we draw pictures of strategies that the child wants to try. You talk through this. What are the strategies I'm going to try? What are some things that can bring me back to a 1 again? And we draw pictures of those. So that is amazing. At the end, there's a place to talk about worries and things that make us go up the scale. And there are little pictures of what each level of emotion feels like. And then there are some things that can help us calm down. For a lot of kids, squeezing our hands together, squeezing our heads, rubbing our legs can help. So these are just some ideas. Do each of them and it will help us go down and down and down, and then we will feel calm again. Love this book. It's a great one. That works along with this one, which explains that 5-point scale in a lot more detail. And it's helpful as a family resource to read through, to learn from, or in a classroom. And this is an activity that can be used in the classroom or in the home. I love this thing. I actually don't know if it's available in this format Right now I think it's out of print, but you can create your own. The reason it's pockets like this is because there are little cards that go with it that say things like brushing teeth. Now, for a person with no sensory difficulties, brushing of the teeth may seem like no big deal. But for a person who has sensory sensitivities, that right there might make her mad. That's at a 4 already, and all we did was suggest that she brush her teeth. So what we do is we get out this pocket folder and we get the cards out and we work on this as a class or as a family. I say, brushing teeth. I can usually handle that. And I put it in the 1. And I say, it doesn't usually bother me. How do you feel about toothbrushing? And you hand it to your child and she says, this can make me mad. And so then we talk about that. Why does that make you mad? Does it hurt? Do you not like the taste of the toothpaste? Does it just tickle your teeth? What is it that you don't like? Let's see if we can find ways to make that better. Or let's just realize that that's a hard thing and we need to do some reinforcing and some rewarding after we do it. This is a great activity for family togetherness and also for understanding in a classroom what each individual child might have difficulty with. And then we have social skills picture books. This one starts out very simply with, don't be a space invader. This one has very simple things about social skills that might set kids off or that kids might not understand. So if you are looking at what we did in the last video on this topic, which was seeing social skills deficits, and you're noticing that one of your kids starts to hit whenever he wants a toy that another child has and he doesn't know how to ask for it. Looking in a book like this will give you great help and will help your child to find a way to ask for something and to handle it when you get the answer no. So having the pictures and having it all laid out, you can kind of look through here and the skills go from very easy to much more challenging as the book goes on. And this is just one of many similar books. So you can look for a book that covers the topics that your particular child or student is having difficulty with. This was our video for the day. In our next video on the topic of the pyramid model, we're going to be talking about something called pre-teaching. Don't miss it. It's fascinating. Thanks for being here. If this is helpful, please give me a thumbs up. You might choose to subscribe if you feel like it, because this is the kind of thing we talk about. Every week, we talk about stuff relating to child development and behavior and communication. I'm glad that you were here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.